What's up, people? What up? 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 Welcome to the habitual podcast, or as my Hispanic people say, podcast.
I'm Emily Uceda.
And I'm David Uceda. And as always, this podcast, it exists to be a catalyst for your self-awareness. And our hope, our goal, always at every aspect, every conversation that we have is to point you back to Jesus.
That's right.
You know, so we're excited that you're tuning in, you're listening. I pray that everything that we talk about on this podcast, it's something that causes you to think and kind of self-reflect and just to remind yourself that God's still working in you, and we all broken, and we just trying to walk this life out and be faithful to Him and be faithful to each other and love each other, and everything else will work out.
That's right. And that we can navigate hard things, and we can come out on the other side even stronger than before. That's with more life experience and wisdom and all the stuff. And
tell them, baby.
I am so excited today.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited.
We're excited.
Don't be selfish.
Sorry.
We're excited.
Forgive me. I do have an update. Just this is the only little banter before we get in because I'm just so excited for our guest. But yeah, I have been so sad because my sweet little Claudio rooster used to love me, and now he attacks me every day.
Rebellious teenagers.
I know. It's just been so sad. So now I have to carry a spray bottle with me everywhere I go outside.
You would think he was raised in a hostile environment, but he's
exactly
in a loving home.
Like he does these little stomps, and then he like bows up at you. Like Demon. It's the craziest thing.
Demon.
I know. Hey, he's going to be at our dinner table pretty soon if you don't cut it out.
I'm going to take him to one of these youth camps so they can get this demon out of him.
Give his life to Christ.
Mm-hmm. That's so the way of saying yes to Jesus.
Okay, listen, guys. Today, we might just be interviewing one of my very favorite people on the entire face of the planet.
Our favorite. Again, with the selfishness.
I'm sorry.
I mean...
Well, I know I can speak for me in this situation.
For sure.
But, okay, listen. She is the best gift giver. She's been on 4 game shows. She is literally joy in the flesh. Mm-hmm. And she is a friend turned sister for me and for David.
And for me.
She was there literally at the very beginning of our relationship.
We were both adopted into the family. At
the same time. So the day that my parents met David was the day that Gina moved into our house.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's so wild.
Like, she was there. Like, she saw the very first encounters.
I think we held hands together as we walked in because we were both strangers into this house.
No.
And I was like, stay close to me. Stay close to me.
But before we get any further, please welcome Gina Shaffron.
Yay! Oh my goodness.
Gina Weena.
Gina Weena.
Oh,
you're here. Welcome.
I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the best.
It is.
Okay, so tell us. I know that I said that you were on 4 game shows. Tell us, what were they?
Well, we started out with The Price is Right.
Okay.
Yes.
You got that Price is Right energy, too.
Well, it got me a year's supply of magnesium.
Oh, wow.
Supply of magnesium.
Yeah. And
all the muscle relaxing you need.
And you were probably too young to appreciate that at the time.
That's right. I don't remember even where it went.
How old were you?
18. Well, no, 2008. Oh, gosh.
2008.
Well, whatever it was in 2008.
Yeah. I would have been 17.
Yes. Okay. So a little older than that.
Yeah. Just a little. Okay. So the second one.
Oh, Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady.
Woohoo!
Yes. And then Let's Ask America.
Okay.
That was a smaller one. Didn't even make it past the first round.
Wait, you said Wayne Brady?
Yes.
What was the second one?
Oh, yes. Let's Make a Deal.
Dang.
Yes, and the Lord.
That's America's African American.
Yeah.
That's right there.
He's very talented. Yes.
That black man is loved by the whole country.
He is. He's incredible. And he blessed me with $1,800.
Let's
go.
Wow.
And that was a blessing.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, and what about the fourth?
Oh, That is Take It All with Howie Mandel.
Did he have his gloves on?
No.
Is that him?
You gotta fist bump or hug him.
He's the bald dude with the
That is
sunglasses.
him. Yep,
He does wear
that is
gloves,
him.
though.
Yep.
Okay. So he said no hugs.
Yeah, the hugs are okay, no handshakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I almost knocked him down.
Yeah, that's so.
That's funny.
So tell me, what did you go dressed as on The Price is Right?
Or Let's Make a Deal.
Let's make a deal.
Yes. So you do dress up on that show, and I took my dad. It was Christmas time, so I surprised him, and because we grew up watching game shows together, we dressed up as elves. Told him we were going to a Christmas function.
That's so awesome.
Even let me put a little blush on his cheeks.
That's cool.
I do remember too, like so Gina lived with us pretty much the whole COVID year.
Yes. Yeah.
So 2020, I think from April? Was it April? To like around the next
Yeah.
April, right? So like
Yeah.
a full year.
Yes. All the holidays.
All the holidays. And I feel like even in that time, you had auditioned for another game show.
I did.
That was going. What was that one?
It was the one with Ellen DeGeneres.
Yes.
And unfortunately, after my audition, it got canceled.
I know, dang it.
Didn't even see the light of day.
That's
That was a good
okay.
one,
That
too.
was a good one.
And then there was something else.
So how does it work to get into these game shows? Like, what's the requirement?
like for The Price is Right, it is free. And you go and you sign up and you stand in line all day.
Really?
And I'll tell you what, they are watching you while you're standing in line, and you got a 10-second interview to woo them. And once you get into that studio, you don't sit your booty down. You dance. You act like you already won a car.
Dang.
Because they're still watching.
That's
Oh
crazy.
my gosh. There is no one more qualified than you.
Oh gosh. Well,
And didn't you do like a magic show or like a princess show for like a church talent show?
I did. I go to Open Door Church, and they did. They had America's Got Talent.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
what it was.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. So
Red,
Gina,
white,
tell
and
me,
blue. Oh no, is that the right show?
America's Got Talent.
Oh, I'm thinking America's Funniest Home Videos. Red, white, and blue.
No,
America.
I don't even. Is that
America.
even the jingle
This
for?
is you.
I don't think
I
that's,
love it though.
Yeah.
I'm picturing it in like a Bruce Springsteen voice. That's why.
Yeah.
That's because 4th of July just happened, and I have my own playlist.
I'm still
for
full of
4th
pride
July.
right now.
Oh
That's
yeah,
good.
America.
America.
Yeah.
Okay, Gina. So tell us, where do you come from?
Well, I'm from California.
That's such a funny question. Where do you come from?
Where you come
Yeah.
from? I'm from California.
Nice.
I started out in Northern California. Woo woo.
Fresno, right?
Well, actually, even more north, San Jose.
San Jose.
San Jose, Good Samaritan Hospital. And I did live in Fresno and Gilroy, another NorCal town. And
Fresno's beautiful, right? That's like the agricultural.
Oh, goodness. Oh, well, it's beautiful for that. It has come a very long way.
Has it?
Yes. We used to say Fresno.
Doesn't it stink in Fresno?
It will, a lot of that agricultural and
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I
like a
heard
big
there was-
epicenter for agriculture in this country,
lots
right?
of lots of pigs and
Yeah.
I heard it's like really smelly over there.
it can be, but they've come a long way. Good for Fresno. Yep.
So all these questions, I feel like I know a lot of them, but we're doing this for the listeners, right?
Yes.
So who was baby Gina?
Oh goodness!
Like, what was your upbringing like?
My mom put me through the smorgasbord of life, as she would
Yeah.
say. She made sure that I got involved with everything and anything, even sports that I was not great at. And she made sure that I was definitely involved with the church. So
Hey, real quick, shout out to Mama Marie.
Yes.
Mama Marie Shaffron. We love you, girl.
Yes, aka
Yes.
Nona now, but
Nona.
Yes, but yeah, she did a great job, making
Yeah.
sure that I had a relationship with the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's awesome.
my dad, he got to he was raised Jewish, and so he became a believer when he found out that I was supposed to be have spina bifida or anencephalia. And
Yes.
the doctors up in NorCal told my mom to have an abortion, and
So explain what that
Yeah.
means. The
Yeah.
spina bifida and the other thing that
or
you said.
anencephalia. Probably not pronouncing it completely correct, but
That's okay.
Yeah, they're just they basically said I would be in a wheelchair if I had anencephalia. I
Oh,
wouldn't
wow.
even probably make it.
You were supposed to be like extremely deformed.
Yes,
right?
they even said that looking at the test and diapers for sure and whatnot. And, you know, with a lot of prayer chains, a lot of prayer. And that's where my dad got his faith because I came out with just a crooked toe.
Yeah.
a little baby toe that's just a little crooked.
Still hiding, yeah.
But that's pretty fast. The what would you call it? The dichotomy? Is that a word?
I don't know what
That's the
context you're talking about.
In the context of like your mom being a Christian, your dad being Jewish,
Yes.
and
yeah.
just that relationship, that must have been pretty
Maybe
interesting.
the irony.
No, I wouldn't say irony. I'm just thinking it's two very different point of views of thought.
Yeah.
So I'm
How
just
did your
thinking. I
parents
think in a
meet?
religious aspect, that must have been pretty interesting
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, well, and you know, I mean, they're complete opposites. Of course, they say opposites attract. They met at Sunnyvale Lincoln Mercury.
Interesting.
What is
Okay.
that?
Cars. So my dad was a used car manager my whole life.
Yeah.
My mom was salesman of the nation in the 80s. And so together they met. My dad was actually my mom's fourth
Okay.
husband.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just absolutely a miracle because she knew she wanted a baby.
Wait, your dad was your mom's fourth?
Fourth husband.
I thought he was like one.
Yeah, no. It took her a few to, you know,
To get you.
Hello, yeah, to find, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just amazing because they were so opposite, you know, and just either in their upbringing,
Yeah.
you know, so it's just amazing that they did meet, but they met at Sunnyvale Lincoln Mercury.
That's pretty
So
cool.
are you literally like 50% Jewish?
Well, according to Ancestry.com, I actually end up being more Jewish and only 20% Italian.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your mom must have some Jewish in her then.
Well, some and other things. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just took on the dad
And maybe,
gene.
maybe it's not a 50-50 split.
I didn't
you know?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. I do, you know, have member sister in Jewish. I got
In
that
Jewish.
for Emily.
On
and
our bachelorette trip, she tatted wholesale.
Yes.
That's
with
cool.
sister.
I love it. I love it. So, speaking of tattoos,
Yeah.
what's your favorite?
Oh, well, that's a great
Because
question.
I will say, from your camera view to our listeners, you can't see all of her tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
But this girl is tatted from head to toe, and they all are something fun.
Something
or
fun
meaningful.
and meaningful. And, you know, to answer your question, it just depends on the day because the Lord put me on the tattoo ministry.
Yeah.
You know, and he did this when I volunteered in Skid Row in LA. I lived in Orange County too.
Yeah.
SoCal. And boy, it's crazy how the Lord uses tattoos.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and there's
tell
different
us.
variations of tattoo ministries. I've heard of artists being tattoo ministries, but he uses mine in so many ways. You know, on one of your episodes, you talked about how the woman who reached out to touch Jesus to be healed. Well, I have a portrait of Jesus on the back of my leg, and right there on the front end of Costco, I had a member just reach out for him and touch the back of my leg, and she immediately was just like, I'm healed. And
Interesting.
you know, cool things like
Wow.
that. But then,
Do you think she was really healed?
well, I mean, the way she looked, I wish I sat and had a talk with her.
Yeah.
I think I was just more in, you know, and feeling the spirit, just, you know, and watching
Yeah.
her.
More in
it's just,
awe of just,
you know,
yeah.
because it wasn't me or my tattoo, it was the spirit, you know. And that's
Yeah.
just, he uses them in small ways, you know, even I have Elmo and, you know, the kids, I love when kids come to Jesus when they you know, see my tattoos too. It's
sure.
Yeah.
so cool.
That's
I
amazing.
love that.
Yeah, he uses everything.
Yeah, of
I love
course.
that.
What inspired you to get tattoos? Like,
You know-
what's your story behind it?
Gosh, I don't really know because the first one I got was the classic tramp stamp, you know, you know, I at the NorCal Star,
Yeah.
woo, no, NorCal again, you know, but before I even knew the Lord was going to put me on a ministry, he had me add the word saved right there.
Interesting.
So he was already
Okay.
using it, you know, you go to Vegas and woo, and then he was already using it.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it
I
just,
love it.
you know, and I was there with my uncle, best friend, and my dad, get my first tattoo, and that just led from, you know, they say you get one, you get more, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like you break stereotypes.
Oh,
Like 100%.
that's cool.
Like, yeah. Like, you know, whenever you think of someone that's like fully tatted, you're like, oh, they're scary. You know, like, oh my gosh, they're going to beat me up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you are just like so embracing and loving. you know, and I just love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was cool.
So tell us a little more about your dad, you know,
so-
and that relationship and what it was like growing up with him and even being an adult with him.
Yeah, it's different seasons for sure. You know, my dad, you know, I remember as a little girl, you know, he smoked cigarettes, you know, and I thought, well, gosh, if I threw that pack of cigarette away, you know, in those big trash cans you put out on the curb, you know, he would never smoke again. Thought that was the coolest idea. And next thing I know, I'm in the trash can being thrown in there by my dad, you know, to get a cigarette. But then my dad never really, you know, he was never abusive in that sense, you know, he wouldn't lay a hand. But as a kid, I didn't know that my dad was a drug addict, you know, and not just addicted to cigarettes, but way more, you know, and I didn't know that he actually just was an addict to a lot of things, you know, gambling and, you know, family trips, unfortunately, sometimes wouldn't end well because, you know, you go to Lake Tahoe and Mom and I are having a great time fishing on the lake and we come back and I see, you know, their whole account wiped out, you know,
wow.
maybe not understanding it completely,
Of course.
but knowing that that's what he
Something
did.
happened.
Yeah.
It's like you saw the signs, but I guess maybe you were too young to kind of put it together and realize.
Right.
Yeah.
Because boy, I mean, and my dad, honestly, you know, he's passed away now, you know,
Yeah.
so he is no longer here. And I will tell you though that I am truly a daddy's girl.
Yes, you are.
I got that tatted too. So, you know, when I talk about my dad and things in the past, I just, you know, I think about how much still in my mind he's still a superhero dad.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And how he called me every day, you know, because he didn't always live with us. He actually ended up working for my mom's brother at his dealership. My dad was the person that everybody met him would never forget him. You know, and
Like
and
you.
in a good way. Oh, thank you. That's a
Like
good compliment.
you.
That's a really great compliment because I aspired that because I watched my dad just be himself and not perfect, but
Right.
be himself and just bless people with that joyful,
That's
just
amazing.
you know, carefree spirit.
Right.
Was he ever apologetic about his
Yes.
about
Oh.
the way he presented himself? Because I feel like too, like you're not in any shape or form ever apologetic for how you are and how you carry yourself.
Oh.
And I'm sure that people will look at you and say maybe that's a bit much, or that's no, she's faking it. There's no way she's that joyful. But it's like when people get to know you, it's like, no, this is really who I am.
Well, I have a story with that.
And
So
and I just think I just thank you for it. I guess in the time that I've known you, you've never been sorry for who you are. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people, even myself, it's stuff that I've worked through in therapy of just like, I've changed the way my tone, I've changed my voice, I've changed the way I carry myself to make people feel comfortable, that I start losing pieces of myself, you know. And I think for you, you've always stuck strong on who you are, you know, and I think God has blessed you so greatly because you chose to be true to yourself, you know. I just think that's
Yes.
beautiful.
and you're tender-hearted.
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
I love it. I feel like when we lived together, anytime I would like come to you with like news, whether it was like really happy or sad, you're crying before I am.
Oh, God.
And it was so sweet, you know.
Yes. Oh.
And you're probably gonna cry now.
I know. I have
I'm a little
you're
teary
a feeler,
myself.
And I'm a feeler. We're feelers.
We're
Let's
feelers.
feel. Yeah.
So whenever I first met Gina, she was actually my supervisor at Costco. And so like she would send me outside to push carts in the heat. Actually, no, she wouldn't
hated that.
specifically. Yeah, a reason that she is not a supervisor anymore, because she did not want to have to discipline people and she did not want to like send people outside. But I would come inside and be like, Gina, it was 107 degrees out there and I was pushing carts. And I would come to you and be like, I'm so hot. I think I'm going to pass out or get sick. And you'd be like, oh, just go in the cooler for a minute, you know? Like, so we met through that way. And, you know, I always wondered, is she this happy and this joyful outside of work, or is this an act? And you don't really know until someone is actually living with you. And I can say and this is what I say to people, she's like that in front of people and not in front of people. Like behind closed doors, you are the same person.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that people don't see is that you fall asleep in movies at night.
Oh,
every time.
every time.
You can make it like maybe 2 minutes.
Yep.
It's like you run all day and then crash.
Yep.
You know, but kind of going back to your dad, with all those memories, how did you like manage to not carry unforgiveness in your heart? Like, how did you navigate that?
Yeah,
Because
that's a good question.
you can also share too, like, whenever there was that week that he was gonna take his life. You know, and just anyways.
Well, that's it's interesting. First of all, if you ever know that if someone ever tells you they're going to take your life, you know, there's obviously, you know, you think in my head, oh, I'm going to get help for this person or I'm going to do that. I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't living with him. He was living with my aunt. But I just told him, this is what I told him. I said, Dad, don't do anything until I get there. And I booked a trip. I got, used my own money and brought my credit card with me. And I said, okay, we're gonna have a week together, Dad, you know? And I said, just stay alive for a week, you know? And at the end of the week, if you still want to do it, you know, then, there's always, you can't really control somebody else, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And so, oh boy, did I pray. I'm not a good faster, but I prayed as hard as I could before leaving for this trip. And every day I would just, ask for what I should do. Well, we did everything, baseball games, and I was taking pictures. I had my old digital camera back then, and I'm taking pictures of him taking a bite of his very last bite of each meal. I mean, knowing someone's going to go is probably one of the hardest things.
Especially when it's your dad.
Yes, and it's not just by somebody has an illness and, they get, so much time told to them, right? This is like he's given me a week because he's in control of what he's going to do, right?
Right.
So I even had him, I wrote down questions. I don't remember all the questions, but I wrote down questions. I said, please, Dad, if you could fill this out, like the answers, and I'll have this when I go back home and I'll just, have, because you're not going to be in my life anymore,
Of course.
And I took him to Build-A-Bear too, and we recorded our voices together. But
Beautiful.
when I had him do the questions, he left a lot of them blank. And that kind of actually made me frustrated because I wanted to know what he would tell me on my wedding day.
Right.
That was a big one because, I just always wanted him to sing Daddy's Little Girl. That was our song he sang to me. I definitely see you singing that to your future kid. I do, 100%. But he left him blank. So on the last day, he's in his basement. We're in Virginia, so there's basements down there, and he's living in the basement. And he says, okay, baby, I'm going to do it now. So go upstairs. So I'm going to go upstairs. I'm an adult, And I go upstairs. And next thing I know, though, I'm an adult, but I feel like I killed somebody. I feel like because I'm the only one in the world that knows because my dad and I were such a close bond that I kept a lot of his secrets, know?
Yeah.
And I left the house running. I almost got lost, but then I came back and I just texted my Aunt Lori the longest text of my life saying, this is what happened. And all of a sudden she runs down the stairs. She calls the paramedics, which obviously I should have done, but in the moment. Next thing I know, the paramedics comes and I hear my dad's voice.
Oh.
And that was so crazy. So he took insulin. There's an orange one, there's a green one. One kills you, one doesn't. And he took the wrong one. Wow. Jesus.
That's incredible.
Right? So
Thank God.
Thank God.
That's incredible.
And how many years did he live after that?
A while and drug free.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. I mean, this is a long time. I wish I knew the time, line of this, but
it was probably 20 years.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, he made it to my wedding.
Yeah, he did.
He did. So that is why the Lord
He
let
never
him
answered those.
Answer. Yes.
Wow.
God knew.
So, how long?
I did not know this story.
No?
Really?
I never knew this story. I mean, I'm sure you knew. Of course, you knew, but I never. That's
Yes.
that's amazing.
I'm telling you,
So
some of
good.
the stuff that Gina has gone through. That's why I'm like, I got to get her on the podcast because this is like some of the deepest stuff, and you carry it with grace. Like no one would know that you've, had to be there when your dad was killing him, like.
And he tried a few other times. So I want to make it clear that he passed peacefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he finally did pass and I mean,
But
God
it
took him
wasn't.
home.
He didn't kill himself
No,
at that point.
No, so I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, and
What do you think it was that he was battling with? That
man, yeah, he was bad. I mean, because of course, late in life when I was born, at 35 years old, I suppose at 35, that's when he got to know Jesus. So I think before then he really didn't know. So he battled. I mean, he was a gambler since he was a kid. He used to tell me they would gamble a fly. If the fly would fly up, they would gamble that. He had bookies after him. So he just was so independent and so mature for his age, really, and doing these adult things at such a young age back east in Philly. And he got into drugs and he did drugs like nobody else I've ever witnessed, so it's a miracle that he actually stayed alive as long as he did.
Yeah.
To die drug free too. That is so
Beautiful.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So after all the years of doing those drugs, like, did that do anything to him?
I mean, mentally, I feel like drugs do, and you play, you pay, and so I believe he could have been around longer, but I think it was just one addiction to the other, and he gave out one thing, it would be another thing, and
that just took a toll on him.
yeah, and I think I got the eating habits, and I used food as a big drug, I'm a huge drug. I was almost, about 200 pounds, but being 4'10" and a half, they told me I wasn't going to live at 30, and back then I just laughed about it.
That's what the doctor told me with CPAP. He was like, if you don't get a machine, you're not going to live past 50. I was like,
But
all
you
right.
got a machine, so
He
we don't
got
have
a
to worry about
machine.
it.
Praise the Lord.
And then the doctor's like, you're overweight. I'm like, I get it, doc. No, you don't understand. You're not breathing. I understand, doctor. I get it.
You know what? In Jesus' name.
I'll get the machine.
Yes.
In Jesus' name.
Yes.
But so what was your vice?
Oh gosh, well, I had a few myself, I mean,
with your addiction, your eating.
yes, bread, McDonald's. Let me tell you what my Happy Meal consisted of. I could eat a few Big Macs, no problem. At least 8 sauces, and I didn't realize those are like
That's crazy.
50 calories each.
I got the rewards for it too.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
bragging about it.
Well,
sorry.
I know I could too. I had all the Monopoly pieces back in the day. but supersize me, But
Yeah.
no, it was bad. It was really bad because I wasn't putting anything in my body that was healthy for me, and it started catching up. I couldn't walk up. My aunt remembers me literally not even making it up her driveway.
Wow.
Wow.
So it wasn't even that I was overweight. It was just super unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then I did get into, living with dad, being around it. I did, experiment into some, drugs and that just wasn't, it didn't go hand in hand well. It just was not a good combination. And that's when the weight really put on. But really, I say one good choice leads to another good choice, but so does a bad one.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
how did you lose the weight?
So this is what I love.
This is something
Yes.
that inspired me back when I lost 40 pounds.
Oh gosh, yes.
And it was because of this testimony.
Well, it was the Lord because He put so many materials into my life. Starting with something little like MyFitnessPal. My uncle's girlfriend at the time, was eating very healthy, and she would record everything she ate. And so when I thought about that, I converted it to money. So instead of calories, I thought if I'm only allowed to spend $1,200, 1,200 calories, I'm going to think again about that $500 burger.
Interesting.
That was a good choice. Then Costco has been one of the biggest blessings of my life. Obviously, I'm here today because of you being a fruit of that.
15 years,
And
right?
17.
17 years at Costco.
Yes, woohoo. And got that tattoo.
Yep.
But basically, I had Costco family that got me into CrossFit.
Yeah.
And that is CrossFit's not, I believe, for just anybody and
It's not
everybody.
for the faint of heart.
But it is because in a way as well, because everybody's rooting you on and the encouragement. I got encouraged so hard that I actually went from not even be able to walk up the driveway to doing like my first mile, my first push up, pull up. I did. And that led all the way to a full marathon.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it just, one good choice leads to another. But I didn't know what God was doing, why He was, getting me healthy, getting my body ready, because it wasn't just cutting out, drugs and bad food and getting me into shape, to make sure blood pressure, everything was perfect.
Right.
He had a big purpose in my life for organ donation.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I want to go back real quick and add something, because you might not even remember that you told me this, but you said also part of your journey was, and it blew my mind because I never thought that this was allowed, but you said that you gave your fat to the Lord.
Oh, I did.
And that blew my mind.
That's good.
Yes.
That you said that one day you were just like, God, I have given my life to you, and I'm giving my fat to you because I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I don't want it.
And I remember praying that prayer, and shortly after, I was able to I didn't just magically lose the weight.
No.
After I said that prayer, I was able to get the discipline that I needed.
Oh, man. And
You
you were doing the the macros, right?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I mean, I've kind of put it back on after trying to have a baby and
It's okay.
going through life.
Yep.
But that I just that had a profound effect on me.
Oh, I love that. I forgot I even said that. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
You gave your fat to the Lord.
Yep. And once you give your fat to the Lord, he starts doing things.
And how I remember laughing at myself whenever I was pregnant, because it feels so I don't know, cheesy,
Yeah.
But it was just a really good idea, good piece of wisdom of why wouldn't I,
Yeah.
if I give him all of me, this is part of me.
Right.
Yep. Take it.
I want to talk about something. I want to talk about your faith,
Okay.
Oh,
because I think,
and then we'll get to organ donation, I promise.
Oh, you're good. That's a part of it.
because I love the vibrancy of it. Where does that faith stem from? Where does that come from? This desire of when people are like, no, this is not going to work. Your whole perspective is just completely different. And I think it's a discipline too, and so I just want to see if you can kind of share just where do you think that faith comes from? Where do you think that faith started? What caused you to want to be who Gina is today?
Well, I also think a glass half full versus half empty.
Yes,
It's there's always, you always find the silver linings, and you're always just positive.
Oh, you are too.
Oh.
I cheers our half full glasses together.
Cheers.
Yes.
But so to David's question.
Yes, that is such a good question. Well, so I believe we all have faith, because what is
For
it?
sure.
Faith of a
Right.
mustard seed.
Right.
And that's not very much. And so, every day my faith grows, based on his grace.
For sure.
I would say is a big way. I mean, when I hear the Lord say he's going to do something, or he wants to do something too, and I need to be obedient with it, I feel like I see him fulfilling every day. And my faith grows.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, when I see him not fulfilling, my faith still grows because I know he will. And sometimes he does test me, because I am patient until I'm not, but I am. I'm very patient. I know it's coming. But yeah, that's a very good question. I feel like my mom her faith is like her number one, and my grandma had that. So I had the nonas, I had the mom to look up to.
So it was modeled for you in a sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I just see it every day, again through.
Because here's the thing. This is what I see. I see years of trials, some things that were very unfair to you, people that treated you in ways that you should have never been treated. And I'm sure we'll get into this conversation, but just to kind of see the way you deal with it. I remember when we first met, you were kind of going through the challenges of your first marriage.
No, that was
was
just that was an ex-boyfriend.
Oh, an ex-boyfriend. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
I
okay.
apologize.
I remember that though.
So I remember that you were going through these things, and yet you still had this smile on you. And even though you would tear, yet you were like, it's going to be okay. It's going to work out. And I remember that Emily would want to encourage you, but it was like the encouragement was already established too, on top of her wanting to speak life into you and things like that. But you kind of already had your hands on this optimism, and I don't think that comes easily to people, and so I just the stories that I do know of what you've gone through in life is just like your optimism, your perspective, the way you choose when things look this way, you're like, nah, it's gonna look this way.
Yes.
You know, and
That's good.
I think it's cool and it's refreshing because I think for me, I've gone through my share of troubles in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I've always struggled with trusting that God is going to pull through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I question a lot more than I do trust. And I know that is a struggle for me, you know, and it's an everyday choice where things are not panning out the way I want them to. And I'm just like, Lord, come on, man, you know? But I think with you, I've seen, whether you noticed it or not, but I've seen from a distance on how you choose to see things a little bit differently. And I'm just very intrigued on why do you choose to be that way? Why do you think I have to be this way? And I just wanted to see if you can kind of just like share with us.
Well, I mean, I feel like the way the Lord made me, you know, since I was little, my mom said I wouldn't cry that much, you know. My uncle said that, you know, I'd be happy in a pile of shit, you know. And although I was like, well, I don't know about that, but it's, you know, and I feel
but
like
there's truth to that.
there is, and I feel like though that night, going back to that, you know, when I met you, when we walked in the house, you know, together to stay with, you know, and shout out to your mom and dad, you know, on that, because they took us in and they are amazing, amazing, the best.
They're your adopted parents.
Yes.
My dad's your adopted dad for sure.
He is.
But I feel like my mom has found such a friend in
my
you.
Texas mama. Yep. You know, but you said something that night, because I you know, got out of a relationship, started new, and by moving in with Emily, and you said, you looked at me and you said, you know, you don't deserve that, you know, that, or that's not how you should be treated. That's what you said. And oh boy, was that, you know, because I need that reminder that even though I would be happy in a pile of shit, I shouldn't be in a pile of shit.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Yes. And
I love it.
So, you know, I absolutely, you know, I feel like the Lord, you know, is constantly reminding me, though, that even though what I deserve, like that, you know, and you're encouraged, like you said, Emily encouraged, oh man, boy, did the Lord know what you need. So, you know, coming out of a different, darker type of season, you know, he's always there at the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. And then that was you guys, you know. And so this is just incredible, you know, watching, you know, how I, you know, overcame.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's what the Lord does, you know, every day. And that's why I'm constantly always so supernaturally joyful, you know, is because of how he just sets up every day and, you know, and has something, everything we need, right?
Yeah.
And didn't even know we needed.
Right. And I think that gratitude and positivity, like, is a muscle, you know, and the more you practice, like, the easier that is going to be your default.
Well, that's
you
good.
know, instead of like doubt, negativity, you know, stuff like that. I feel like behind closed doors, that's where I lean. I err towards the side of, you know, oh man, is this ever going to get better? You know, and, but it's a muscle, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just, that's why gratitude is so important, and like getting in God's word and writing gratitude list, or just vocalizing, I'm thankful for this. I've seen the Lord do this, you know, and that's what I hear you do all the time. You said the Lord did this, the Lord did this. And I think that's you practicing, you know, that's you exercising that gratitude muscle.
Well, that's good when you put it like that.
And I think too
love that.
I think too there's an underlying, because you just pointed out there's an underlining choice. You're choosing to see Jesus in all of it.
Yes. So good when you do too.
You see Jesus in every person you interact with. You see Jesus in every situation. And that's a supernatural gift. Because that doesn't come naturally to people. Like, that has to be something that you just choose to want to desire. I want to see Jesus in all of it.
Yes.
You know, and so each and every opportunity that you get, whether it's negative or positive, you're choosing to say, I'm going to see Jesus in it.
Yes. And vice versa. My biggest prayer is that people, when they look at me, they see Jesus, because that's really ultimately my biggest prayer.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
It's kind of a bold one.
Oh.
But do people, or have people in the past, or do they now mistake your joy for being naive?
Oh, that's a good question. They
Yeah.
can. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like, back in the past, I probably was on the naive side,
Yeah.
especially being my immature days,
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, yes, but at the same time, it's real, and it is real, and it does come from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And so, whether or not, if they believe it or not,
Yeah.
it's what you get, what you see, what you
Yeah.
get. You know what they say?
Yep. Because you're not naive.
Yeah. Oh,
you
thank
know,
you.
like you have enough life experience, you've gone through enough things, and even if you hadn't, you
Yeah.
know, like you're smart.
Oh, thank you,
And you're
sis.
quick.
Yeah.
And something about Gina that blows my mind is you remember details that people like mention. Like if say that today I mention, "Ooh man, I love yellow birds."
Oh, yes, yep.
You would buy me a yellow bird for my birthday next year, which is what, 9 months from now?
January, yes,
Like,
January.
and so that is actually a supernatural gift too.
Oh.
I remember David cried for the first
Oh.
time receiving a gift.
For the first time.
No, like from a gift.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Like he had never cried receiving a gift before.
I just remember in 2 separate occasions when we were doing Christmas together.
Mm-hmm.
One time you brought me a keychain with a song that I had recorded on it. And then the following Christmas, you got me a blanket with the cover photo of a song that I recorded, another different song that I recorded on it. And it was just like, I just had never received anything like that.
Oh.
It was so it was so intentional.
Yes.
Sometimes Christmas comes around and you just buy someone that you think they'll like, or that you think, it was almost as if like you knew this is what he needs.
Oh.
And it was super intentional. It was very thoughtful. And it wasn't a Christmas gift that I've ever gotten before. If I'm honest.
Well,
yeah.
I'm a big fan of your work, sir.
I
Yeah.
know. I have yes, she's top fan over here. But I have like so much like intentional stuff that you've bought me too. Like I'm just like, this was from this was
Yeah.
from this.
Oh.
Do you feel like gift giving is something that that like
I got that from
the
my-
way you express?
That's what I got from my dad. That's a big one.
What is the thing that he called it?
Oh, like tchotchkes?
Yes.
Yes.
Tchotchkes?
Tchotchkes
What's
is some
tchotchkes?
tchotchkes. It's a ginger dells. That's another one.
Oh, what?
Ginger does. It's like little Jewish sayings.
Hebrew 101. Yes.
Yeah.
Tchotchkes?
Tchotchkes. But Emily's very easy to buy for though too, and she's got a grateful heart, and I honestly love buying for Emily. I love when I lived with her and coming home,
Yeah.
And having like, even if it's just a little, tchotchke, a little trinket, she just acted like it was the most coolest thing,
Yes.
and so.
Something
she's a good
else that
receiver.
just came into my mind. I remember because you lived in the bedroom across the hall from me.
Oh, yes,
Like
yes.
right across.
Uh-huh.
And there were many days where I would struggle with depression and wake up with heaviness.
Oh, yes.
And I remember you reminded me of, for the spirit of heaviness, put on the garment of praise. And so you literally had this garment.
I almost brought it today.
Yo, you should have. You should have. And it was
What is
like,
it, like a quilt? Is
It
it-
was made by one of the sample people at Costco.
and it
Oh,
looks
wow.
like the what is it? Joseph's coat of many colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it brings me so much joy. And so she'd be like, "Here's your garment of praise," and like put it on me in the mornings,
Yes.
so that I could trade my heaviness for praise.
That's amazing.
And when she fully woke up, that was when. So we're both only children, So
Yes.
that's something we had to get used to. And I'm a morning person. And,
I'd
and
be
Right.
like, "Don't touch me! Don't."
yes. So when she came out, when she finally woke up, though, oh man, Emily, the joy was there.
Yeah.
The whole house.
But give me
everybody
like
comes alive.
30 minutes.
Well, I just remember times coming over the house and Emily was getting ready. We were going to go out or somewhere. This is before we got married. And I'd go to use the bathroom and I'd turn on the light and I would see like all these verses and like these jelly letters on the mirror.
Oh,
And I'm like, what the hell? What is all of this?
Every holiday.
And it was just like, it's not normal for me, which sucks because I'm just like, that should be a normal thing. That's everybody should experience something like that.
But every single
You
know?
holiday, Gina would surprise me with little like jelly letters on my mirror,
Yeah.
and like
There's still some of them are still there today.
Are they?
they might be actually.
Your mom never took them down.
They might
Aw.
be. And like scriptures written, so it'd say like Happy Easter, and then it'd say like this is the day that the Lord has made.
Oh.
And I just move in with us.
I know. We need to get one of those compound family
Yeah, I
cards.
know.
Right,
So
for
you have a
real.
whole family now.
Yes.
There's a few things I want to touch on. I want to go back to your first marriage or your only marriage at this point.
Yep.
And then I want to jump over to your whole journey with organ donation.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about your first marriage.
So my first marriage was very actually God orchestrated. And I decided, well, no, I didn't decide. The Lord put me on a dating fast. That is something I would not have decided on my own. So
A
a
dating
dating
fast.
fast.
Okay.
Yes. So I was single for the first time in my life for a good while.
Yeah.
And that's when I was working on myself. That's when CrossFit days. So I got down to like 100 pounds, best shape of my life, was very involved with the church. And I kept seeing this certain man at everything that I would be involved with, the foster kids, church camps, our drive singles group at this Mariners Church, California. And then it was amazing. And all of a sudden the Lord kept highlighting this man to me, saying, this is the man you're going to marry. And lo and behold, he was the man that I married. And I mean, it was great. He was even my small group leader, and our marriage absolutely was perfect. The first 2 years, it was one of those things where the Lord blessed us. We waited till marriage, something I never, I always wanted that, that's what I had desired, but never thought I could, resave myself. And that was so cool. And boy, did the Lord just bless that. And then one day I come home and I basically lost my husband. He's alive, but it wasn't him. And he's breaking DVDs and saying the government's after him. And there's just different things that mentally weren't right. It was confusing and very scary and just not what I had imagined, to come home to. And it got really bad. And his mom had some mental health issues, and things. And so it led him basically to have a mental breakdown, and it just wasn't him anymore, and I said, oh my goodness, Lord, what do I do? What do I do? I mean, this is probably the scariest thing of my life that's ever, I mean, he said, take care of my sheep, love my sheep, feed my sheep, and Peter's my favorite, in the Bible. So, for the Lord to be personal and use that scripture like he did with Peter, that spoke a lot. And I said, of course, and marriage is marriage, and so, of course, it worked out. His aunt had us move down south with him, with them. And it was all, it was good, and it was good to be around family.
Yeah.
So is this, he had gotten help at this point?
Yeah. They even put him on medicine, and he went and.
Was it like a manic episode that he had?
It was kind of like that, except he got diagnosed with some things, bipolar being one of them, I believe.
Was it also like schizophrenia?
There was something in there, and it was all so confusing that I don't want to say maybe
Fair
he
enough.
was this and not. And
right.
It's fair enough.
basically, though, what happened was it led to being abuse. Next thing I know, he was grounding me to my room, and he was, it wasn't a marriage anymore. It wasn't, we didn't have what we had. And I mean, God was using our marriage. So I thought, what is this?
Yeah.
And, although I was praying and really my faith again, I thought, at this point, I lost, I don't know what to do. And when the abuse started getting worse, we moved to Oklahoma. I was actually thrown out of the window. My ribs got fractured, broke, and it just, I mean, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And my mom, her first marriage, I knew what it was from her, that you don't want to be in that, you don't deserve that. And so that was the hardest thing in my life was walking away, but the Lord made it easy, because he said, Gina, I got the door of grace for you. And the door of grace is cool. And when you walk through it, it immediately just, it sets you free, and it just says, wait till you see the next chapter.
Oh.
And, I still thank God for my ex-husband. I think, and I have forgiven and I know, that he's out there, and I pray that hedge of 91, hedge of protection, Psalms 91 hedge of protection around him, but, what did I do though when I walked that door of grace? I didn't use it well, and I made some choices and it led me here, and I did my whole rebound. I think I was, humanly getting back at God a little bit because my desire was marriage and the family and, and living happily ever after.
Right.
That's who I am.
You're a princess.
I am a princess. And so, when I walked through Emily's line, her register, she was helping out, cashiering, and she said, the Lord's telling me there's a room at my house for you. I mean, again, that came at perfect timing. He knew, that I was not just coming to live in a room, that I was coming back to him full-heartedly.
I remember, because not only did you get out of that relationship, but you quit smoking weed. Like that whole lifestyle, you just left it.
Said goodbye.
And the crazy thing is, like, we knew each other, but not that well.
Yep.
And so it was kind of just like, you're going to be part of our family now.
Yeah.
I
I couldn't believe it.
It was so fun. That was like the best time of my life.
No,
like,
me too.
And because I was obviously getting to know him too.
And I mean, I got to, like I tell everyone, I got to live a real Hallmark movie with you too. It was the best. It was, I mean, but now seeing you too, and I said that at your wedding, that I'm going to watch you do big kingdom things with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of them right here.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Amen.
yes. Gina was also in the wedding and was able to give a speech.
Yes. So many honors.
And I love it because she even learned a phrase in Spanish to say to David's family at the end.
What was it? What was it again?
Remember.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Yes. Oh gosh, wouldn't that be great if it just flew out of me right now?
Right?
But it's not.
Do you feel like you ever got to mourn the fact that marriage was not what you wanted or thought it was going to be?
Yeah, shout out to Kyler, Crazy 8 Ministry and Biblical Counseling for that. Oh boy, I mean, you guys talk about therapy a lot, that you go on your show, and I had never experienced. And let me tell you, biblical counseling in general, but I was blessed to have biblical counseling. Oh man, I mean, to answer your question, God redeemed and took away and gave me closure and just so much to completely proceed forward.
That's awesome.
Not just the door of grace and do it my way, but really walk with him.
Yes. You know what's funny? I think we mentioned Kyler like last time.
I was about to say, Kyler's a staple
She
in
is.
our lives.
Because she's the one that was going to introduce us too.
She did she didn't because we kind of had already talked briefly when we saw each other in person.
Online. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but I think she did introduce us.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm
but
pretty sure she did.
She just,
Yeah.
thank
She
you,
planted that
Kyler,
seed.
for like
Woohoo,
helping
everything.
us in our life so much.
Yes.
But, okay, so now the moment we've been waiting for.
Yay.
This is the craziest testimony story pretty much ever. Like, a lot of people are like, no freaking way when they hear about this story. So, organ donation. Let's start it off. How did that happen?
Yes. Okay. So the Lord told me I was going to donate an organ. He used a radio station, which is why this is so cool, because this is like, to me, the new, radio. And he used a radio station, and he used, different ways of basically reaching out to me to let me know I was going to donate. I
How long
donated
ago?
blood. This was in 2012-ish, 11-ish. So right as I'm meeting my ex-husband, and the cool thing is, again, that's when he got me into the best shape of my life. So that's why he had to, and
Wow.
so that, it's all him,
Because you had to be like physically fit to go through with an organ donation like that.
You do. And so, that's what unfortunately stops some people from, who are willing to donate, that they can't because maybe their blood pressure, you do have to be in good shape if you're going to share one of your organs. some ways. So, and it's never too late. So,
Yeah.
so I answered, I answered that call, with God and started praying about it. And my best friend, Timmy, said, Kyle, my big brother, who is his cute older brother, said that
We'll get to that.
Yes, he needed a kidney. Now I knew he had gotten his first kidney from their dad, when Kyle was younger. And the organs, unfortunately, they do fail. But it lasted a long time. We're talking, I guess maybe 20 years, a good amount of time before his kidney started failing again, another one. And so I did the test. I just said, okay, because I thought you had to be related to even donate an organ.
Right.
I had no idea. And, one test after one test, it was just like God was just passing me, because you have to be the first blood test first, just to find out, O positive, B.
If you're compatible.
And we were all the way up to the end when I'm with Kyle in Wisconsin, and Kyle, has lost all hope from, at this point. Dialysis is like the worst. And I tear up when I think about it. I get choked up because, nobody should have to be on that.
Yeah.
But it does keep you alive and waiting for your kidney donor. And they offered pairing exchange. So I think this is such where God just even, gets greater, because not only do you get an opportunity to donate to one person. Now, the pairing exchange means I would donate to a stranger and somebody else would donate to Kyle, and it kept going. And so it's a bridge. So Kyle, because he needed one kidney, about 30 people got kidneys.
Wow.
And
because you weren't a perfect fit
at the very
with Kyle
end,
at the very end.
Our antibodies, I guess, would have.
So because you were there for Kyle, that guaranteed he got one.
Yes.
Well, like it was like a big old train.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how good God is, that he,
But previous to this, there was another occasion with Kyle, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
What do you mean?
Like before this kidney transplant, there was something else that you had. Maybe I might be
No, so the something else is back from like 2012.
back from 22. Okay,
So
This
okay.
is
I
what
gotcha.
she's talking about.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, just, and while I'm in the hospital there, I had one night the only night when my mom had gone back to California, because this was all done in Wisconsin where Kyle lived at the time. And, my ex-husband wasn't there that night. And so I had a big spiritual warfare night. I mean, it was probably one of those things where you're laying in a room and you just feel a very dark presence. And I'm not used to that. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm pushing the call button to the nurse, like, someone come in here, and a nurse came in. And boy, was she the coolest nurse. She says, oh girl, she felt it. She was a believer, and she sensed she sensed that the enemy was,
in the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why was he in there? Well, we walked around that hallway, because you have to walk after organ donation's hard, but you do it, and it heals you up. She said, I need to tell you something right now. The Lord is speaking to me, and you're going to donate another organ. Here's a website, and I'm supposed to get this to you. So I go home after the kidney transplant, and I'm still healing, and I went right on there. I said, well, the Lord, and he did this, and okay. I fill out the whole application. It's like one of those matchdonors.com. 10 years later, I'm now with Kyle. Yeah, we found out he loved me, and I loved him all these years, and he was the one. And Timmy's cute older brother and I are now, we're a thing.
That was just the craziest circle.
Yes, and now we're dating. And next thing I know, I'm telling Kyle, I gotta go to California. I'm gonna donate a liver. This woman named Heidi found me.
Wow.
Off that website?
Off that website.
10 years later.
10 years later.
Wow.
Thank God for that nurse. So, I always say, because I'm sure I miss days when I'm not obedient, or I miss a task, that little things like that, like handing a website to a person, is very important.
Yes.
And this beautiful woman, Heidi, finds me, and I got to meet her boyfriend in LA, and we hit it off. But it was incredible, because I knew already going in that those tests I'm going to do, and we're talking like 20 vials of blood. I just knew going in, this is going to happen, because it's already been promised, and oh boy, I just felt the Lord's presence in LA the whole time, and with such confidence. until I got to the smoking test.
Yes.
You know, the lung test, I should call it. I call it a smoking test because, you know, I had been smoking cigarettes, something I never thought I'd do. And it really bummed me out that I thought, oh man, you know, here I am thinking this is going to happen. And now it's not because they're going to find something in my lung. Blah, blah, blah. Well, Emily.
Oh, you're going to make me. You're going to make me cry. Yes, my papa.
He's incredible. He's in heaven too with Jesus smiling because he had the biggest smile that I could see his smile all the way down here on earth. That he, in that moment, right when I'm about to take this test, he didn't know. He calls me and prays with me and says, you know, you're going to do great, you know? And instantly I knew, like, this is happening, you know? Get behind me, Satan, you know? And you know, that just shows you God's grace is so much stronger than, you know, what's in the natural, because the doctor that did the lung test, they said they didn't see that. It didn't look like I ever smoked a day in my life.
Wow.
So,
Papa.
Yes, Papa. Oh, I love it.
That's
I
amazing.
miss him. Rest in peace. He loved you, Gina.
Oh, man. No, but you were the apple of his eye.
Oh.
Yes. But I am very honored and blessed that I got to, we got to meet Papa. Yes.
And I love it because he also had called you and left voicemails during that. And I'm so glad because I don't have any voicemails.
Oh.
So
they send them to you?
You did.
Oh, good. Okay.
So now I have those voicemails.
Yes, pictures and voicemails are.
Whenever Gina's the queen of like capturing moments and voices. And so now whenever I want to hear my papa's voice, it's that message. And it's so sweet.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Okay, so you passed your tests.
Passed my
and now
test.
what?
Well, let's donate, you know?
Yeah.
So, and they take out part of your liver, you know, so it's not the whole thing. Your liver grows back, just in case if anybody want to know that fun fact. This is all learning, you know, you learn as you go along.
Right.
Also a fun fact, if you donate your kidney first, then you can donate your liver. So you can't donate your liver if you, it's, you know, you have to, that has to be the order.
Yeah, you can't donate your kidney if you donated your liver first.
So that's cool that God knew that order, you know?
And we looked it up. There's only 20 people in the U.S. as of like a few years ago that have donated both. And you're like one of 20 in the United States.
Crazy. So my biggest prayer right now is that number grows.
Yes.
You know, because I just love when you know, you bring somebody life, you know, that's going to, you know, God wants to use that person just as much as he wants to use the donor, you know, the recipient.
Yes. So tell us about the healing process from the liver.
Oh gosh, the liver was so much harder than the kidney.
Why is that?
I thought I was dying. So it turns out, you want to hear the grace of God? I was a month pregnant during the liver transplant.
Right.
Oh.
They did the pregnancy test the week of. You can't donate if you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And then they do the test the morning of the surgery. I mean, that is the grace of God.
Yes.
And
they were negative.
They were negative. Because Heidi needed a liver, you know, right away. Yeah. She needed it. And I would have felt like the world's worst person, you know.
So it's so crazy. And there's a few things, because a lot of times whenever you share this part of the story, people's first reaction is, did you sue?
Oh, yeah, no.
You know?
Yeah. No.
Because and I think the hospital was a little nervous.
I think that was my first reaction too.
I think the hospital was pretty nervous, because if I remember correctly, they were calling you like all the time.
And I think it wasn't just nerves. I think it was the fact that they're like, how did this happen? you know, I mean,
because
it was 2 blood tests, right?
Yeah, blood and then the urine test in the morning of
yes,
with a big little stick, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
that's so insane.
How
they missed that.
We found out 2 months because my mom said, "All right, Gina, we're going to the hospital." I mean, I didn't even want Emily to come. I didn't want anyone to come over to see me.
That was the hardest time, because I wanted to come over there, but Gina was just, I guess you felt so exposed or like
I
sick.
just didn't even know. I literally thought I was dying. I thought the liver transplant went bad, and I was dying or something, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt. And I even told my mom I just didn't want to go to the hospital anymore because my veins had hardened so much. I knew they would poke me.
Yes.
That I was literally.
You were just so triggered.
Yes.
Because you were so sick.
I was being a little bratty with her, and I was.
She pulled you out of the bed,
She pulled me out
she?
of the bed. She sure did. You know, moms know best. They do. And
for sure.
And when they did poke me at the hospital, they came up to my mom and I, and we had our mask on, and our eyes were as big as saucers, and then I felt better.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm not dying. It's pregnancy.
Yes, it's pregnancy, which is something I never thought,
So I have a question.
Yes.
At one point, they were, because of your experience, you being pregnant and donating an organ, they were doing studies on it now.
Yeah, to see, I guess, if you can donate. I haven't followed up with that, but I'm praying every day that, because that would be miraculous if you could donate safely,
Oh, yeah.
While pregnant.
Or receive.
Or receive. Yeah, you might need an organ.
It could. So I
That's
just,
good.
man, that'd be so cool if that came from that experience, because it's like, yeah, it definitely shouldn't have happened, but God's grace was there.
He redeemed
Yes.
it.
And
All His
now
grace.
you might as well use that research
Yes.
to further that, area of medicine.
That's true. Nothing happens on accident.
And it's just crazy. Heidi probably would have died.
She didn't have any backup donors, and so that's where I would have felt
And
like
the doctor said she only had maybe like a month or two.
I can't remember, but it wasn't very long. She wasn't doing well. If you see before and after pictures, and she's beautiful.
I remember you
both ways.
talking
She was,
about
like,
it,
yellow.
just how not well she was.
Yes, that it ate me
She
up.
was like hanging on by
couldn't
thread.
wait. Yes,
Yeah.
for her, because it's amazing when someone gets an organ. The day after, it's just incredible. And
Yeah.
she was walking. She healed up faster than I did. It just
Yeah.
and then she got married.
Yes.
they got
That's
their wedding.
beautiful.
Yes.
She made it to her wedding.
Yes.
And then Gloria was born.
And then Gloria and you guys, Emily stayed the whole night at the
I did.
She was,
Me,
oh my goodness.
me and my mom brought a 1,000-piece puzzle, and we worked it the entire time, like while she was in
They're
labor.
incredible doing
Yeah.
puzzles.
And
I remember
That's a gift.
I remember the night you gave birth. I was at my addictions program.
yeah,
Oh, were you really?
It's like at the end of the night, like we rushed straight over there to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. And
To meet little
so we
baby
went
Gloria.
that night.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
went that night, and we could actually see you.
Yeah.
But the next day, I guess you were further along in labor that you were like, no.
Oh yes.
No,
yeah.
because didn't you like throw up?
They had to do all kinds of things. Yeah.
So me and my mom, we just waited outside.
So patiently.
Yes,
the
but
whole-
then we got to see her.
Yes, and she loves you guys.
The whole pregnancy process, was there at any point where you were like highly emotional and like angry?
No.
You, like, wanna choke
I
Kyle?
mean, Emily and her mom,
Because I wish I could capture those
Well,
moments
they-
because they're rare with Gina.
well, and I love this is a super hero story right here. Emily and Jan to the rescue. So they track me.
Oh yes,
I
on
love it.
Find my friends.
Yes, I love it. I always think if someone's gonna get me, you better beware.
Right.
They'll be there.
Yeah, I will.
But I love it because, while I was pregnant, we were doing long distance, which is so hard, and Kyle hadn't moved to Texas yet. And so he was talking, though, maybe moving to a different state because he's a welder to save up money because, you go into dad mode and
Right.
provider mode. And
he didn't even think he was going to have a kid.
no, on
Yeah.
the anti-rejection medicine that he has to take for the rest of his life, which is a lot of pills, which I just thank God every day he's so diligent, and takes good care of himself, is that a lot of them, make you sterile, but also say if you have a baby that it could be deformed too, and
Wow.
so she's a miracle.
And yeah, Gloria's perfectly
Gloria's
healthy.
Perfect. Yes, very
Beautiful.
smart. Loves
So-
Jesus.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Sunday school and sings worship. She's gonna be a drummer like you.
Let's go.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
I just love her. Oh my gosh. She looks like a perfect split of both of y'all.
Aw.
You know? But like she has your smile and your little like bubbly personality.
She did get that's an answered prayer. Yeah.
Like she is not quiet.
no,
You know.
no. She's a character, but she has her dad's like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
she's so coordinated and so
yeah.
just so good at drawing and then an engineer brain and just so cool.
That's
She's a
amazing.
genius.
Yeah, she is.
Ky-
Shout out to her
Kyle
teachers
and
too.
Gloria, the masterminds.
Yes, and her best friend is Nona. Yeah, my
Oh,
mom.
yes.
Nona.
So tell us, how much did Gloria weigh when she was born?
Oh, 4.1 pounds.
Wow.
Yes, and
She was tiny.
that was scary. That was my first scary mom moment. You'll have this, I know, Emily, because it's like you get those mama intuitions that come out of nowhere. And I'm like, something's wrong. And it turned out that in Texas, so cool though, they have you pass a car seat test. And that means that, to make sure you can go home, okay? And her oxygen, because she was so tiny, little preemie, kept cutting off. And thank God for the nurses at Cook's Children's. There was one in particular who played worship music.
That's beautiful.
God knows that Gloria's going to be a little worship star and, for him. And they played worship music and she passed her car seat test. And,
beautiful.
I remember that.
Yeah, I just thought that was so cool. That, it's
That's
calmed her
amazing.
down. So she wants to listen to Jesus music all the time.
That's beautiful.
And God music, yes.
So because I also remember after you decided against it, but I remember after you had Gloria, you're like, I'm going to donate my uterus.
Yes. I prayed about that one because the Lord didn't tell me to do it. I didn't know you could. The nurse said, hey, I've noticed you donated your kidney and your liver. How about your uterus?
Yeah.
But, and I am. I'm, as you can see, I have a good, chart here with the obedience. So if he ever asked me, but no, he didn't.
Yeah.
But you can donate. So that's pretty cool.
So for our listeners, what are some things you can donate?
A lung.
Okay.
Yep. And I mean, I always say Donate Life is such a great organization.
Wait, you can donate a lung while you're living?
You could be a living lung donor. Yes.
Oh my
The
God.
Lord's been speaking to me, not me doing it, but speaking to me about that. Showed me in a book. And
do you just not breathe well for the rest of your life?
No, you can live again they take part of the lung and
It grows back?
It's
Doesn't
amazing.
grow back, but you have 2 lungs that give 2 kidneys. So
Oh,
I'm going to
wow.
donate my
Yeah.
humor because it pisses Emily off. So.
No, it doesn't.
And obviously blood,
I went blood, plasma, right? Yes.
plasma.
But Donate Life, if you look it up, I mean, they use skin, your eyes. So, because some people say, I can't choose to be a donor on my driver's license because I'm unhealthy or I'm just, different reasons you come up with, right? But no, they can use it. And let me tell you, going to a Donate Life event where you meet, a family member that lost their child, but then that family member gets to meet all the people that child saved, and hear their heartbeat through another person.
Wow.
I mean, that is the Lord. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
The ashes, what's that phrase?
From ashes to
From ashes to beauty? From
from beauty from
it's beauty from ashes. That's what it is.
Yes,
It's beauty from summer.
and it is. I mean, saying it's beauty is an understatement.
Yeah.
So
wow.
That's amazing.
Yes, and I do. I constantly pray about that. But it's crazy because that's what the Lord said in church was that He
like
was
this
going to use
few
me.
past weeks.
Yes, for 2 weeks ago said I'm going to use you for Donate Life, and here you asked me, and we got to talk about it.
I know.
That's amazing.
I'm so excited, guys.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, as we're wrapping up, I guess we can kind of start wrapping up.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna ask Gina, so based off of everything that you shared today?
That's what I was gonna get to. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Great
You're
minds
good.
think alike.
Yeah.
What are some things that you want people to take away with them? From this episode?
Oh man,
What's like an encouragement you want to leave for people that
yeah.
are listening?
I would say, you have purpose. Is a big one. And I didn't know, looking back in what we talked about from the start of this episode to what it was going to be right now. And this isn't even the end. I mean,
Right.
that's how cool
Right.
God is.
Yeah.
I say grab your spoon like you're going to have dessert and say the best is yet to come.
It's beautiful.
Because it is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think about, y'all's story. And, I know I'm going to be Auntie Gina, and I know the
Yes.
day's going to be perfect. And I've already seen it, and the Lord, has just given, I'm sure I'm not the only vision, like Elizabeth when she got a vision of your all's
Yes.
wedding before it even happened,
And
the
the
colors.
Yeah, and the colors of the dresses.
Exactly.
But she wouldn't tell me
She
until
did.
after.
I knew before
And it was the
you.
colors.
It happened.
That's
I
beautiful.
mean, so I would just, always, I prayed already that y'all heard something, that I said that you already are running with, that the Lord put something in your heart that you're like, yes, I'm going to
Yeah.
use that. But, if not, just to know how loved you are and, every day, is live every day to the fullest, as my mom says,
Yeah.
because because God hides little blessings and big blessings throughout the day for you.
For sure.
Yes. Oh,
Thank you so much,
well,
Gina.
Gina Weena, we thank you for coming.
Thank you. This is a big honor.
Yes.
I have a feeling that people are just going to love this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Absolutely.
You were just whole personality and joy is just so contagious. Like, I feel like I've been smiling this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I love it.
Yes. And so shout out to Kyle, who's at home watching Gloria.
Big shout out. Yes. I'm so
Like
so thankful.
the dad of all dads.
He is, and he is the man of all man. He is.
Yes.
It's just when you have things in the past, you see what you have,
Yes.
Just like
Yeah.
you and David.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
for
got a
sure.
winner.
You got a winner.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Well, we love y'all people.
Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow, all the things. And we will see you next week.
Until next episode. Peace.
Bye.